The temptation of humans. Addiction comes in many different shapes and forms. A problem that we all face within our lives, and one that society has no definitive answer to. Why are we addicted? How can we prevent addiction? These are questions many ask and attempt to resolve, yet fail and succumb to these addictions. However, if you have the ability to break free from these shackles binding you, the world is within your fingertips. Addiction is a chronic issue that affects the brain's reward, motivation, and memory systems. It is characterized by compulsive and repeated engagement in a detrimental activity or repeated use of a detrimental substance, despite the harmful consequences associated with them. Addiction can be caused by a combination of genetic, environmental, and personal factors. It comes in many different forms, however they all share one common trait. They provide a temporary escape from reality, a way to cope with stress, anxiety, or pain. People become addicted to a variety of substances and activities including alcohol, drugs, gambling, food, technology, and more. When an individual becomes addicted to something, their brain is rewired to prioritize that substance or activity over anything else, including basic survival needs. Severe consequences await for those who are cripplingly addicted. Physical, mental, and social issues are on the receiving end of those who cannot curb their addiction. For physical addictions, such as excessive drug use, it can lead to chronic diseases or even possible death. Mentally speaking, being addicted to certain emotions can lead to obsessive behaviors in an attempt to replicate those emotions, which can lead us to varying places, both positive and negative. Social addictions can lead to compulsive behaviors, such as isolating oneself or seeking validation of others, both of which act as a crutch for our growth. Addiction is often stigmatized and misunderstood by society. Typically, when one succumbs to addiction, it is seen as their own personal failings. They are weak and deserve their consequences. Whilst there is some merit in this ideology, society typically does not account for personal factors affecting the individual, such as their socio-economic situation or their upbringing. This stigma can create barriers for the recovery of the individual, as they may be impacted by depression or low self-esteem, limiting their drive to create a change for themselves. It can also impede the individual from seeking help, as they may feel insecure or even weaker if they do so. So, what can be done for addiction? Overcoming addiction is a difficult and long-term process that requires commitment and support from the individual, their family, and healthcare professionals. The first step in overcoming addiction is to acknowledge that there is a problem and seek help. Treatment for addiction can include medication, therapy, and support groups. Medication can help with withdrawal symptoms and reduce cravings. Therapy can help individuals understand the underlying causes of their addiction, learn coping skills, and develop a relapse prevention plan. Support groups can provide a sense of community, accountability, and support during the recovery process. One method that has gained popularity over the recent years as a way to remedy certain addictions is conducting a dopamine detox. A dopamine detox involves abstaining your brain from the constant stimulations within your life. This allows for the dopamine receptors to reset from the constant stimulations you receive. By engaging yourself in different activities such as exercising or reading, your dopamine levels will decrease and help give yourself a hard reset in life. For example, if you have a crippling addiction to video games, a dopamine detox in which you do not play video games for a month can help reset your brain and gain new and varying interests in skills or activities that were previously not familiar. However, rather than overcoming addiction, it is much easier to curb addiction by simply not being addicted in the first place. I know, kinda obvious, right? Preventing addiction starts with educating oneself about the risks of getting into certain activities, substances, emotions, etc. Understanding the risk factors associated can help individuals to take proactive steps to reduce the risk of developing an addiction. Having other people around you can also help prevent addiction, as the societal pressures they underlay create a large impact in our understanding of certain actions and items. However, this can go both ways. If you hang around the wrong crowd, you could be on the precipice of a new and destructive addiction based on the peer pressure surrounding yourself. By ensuring you surround yourself with the right people, the societal pressures by them are a great deterrent for addiction. Healthy coping mechanisms are another important aspect in preventing addiction. Regular exercise, meditation, and other mindfulness activities go a long way to develop healthy ways to manage emotions without turning to addictive substances or behaviors. In conclusion, addiction is a complicated issue that affects millions of people around the world. Overcoming it is a challenge, but it's possible with the right resources and mindset. Having the mental insight to prevent any such addiction in the first place is the easiest way to cease its impact in your life. If you are someone who is struggling with addiction, or you know of someone, seeking help from healthcare, support groups, or other people is never too late.